There's an interesting piece today in the Financial Times, an analysis by Laura Hughes and Amy Borrett of Oxford University's pivotal research on teenage mental health and social media use, which sort of slots in very well with the sort of stuff that I've been looking at with reality TV, which itself battens on social media use. The main finding is that there's a strong correlation between social media use and elevated levels of anxiety and depression among teenagers. And Professor John Gallagher, who leads this groundbreaking study, underscores that mental illness is the world's leading public health challenge, with effects that resonate throughout economies and personal lives. And the study draws on data from over 7,000 teenagers and points to a worrying trend. Approximately 60% of 16 to 18-year-olds spend 2 to 4 hours daily on social media platforms, with some extreme cases reaching up to 8 hours. And the top platforms include Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, WhatsApp, and YouTube. And for Gallagher, the linear relationship found between social media usage and mental health issues signifies a growing crisis, particularly as teenage girls report more mental health challenges than boys. Beyond social media's impact, the research touches on two significant facts: sleep and exercise. And Gallagher emphasizes that even marginal increases in these areas could improve mental health in young people. He also introduces the brainwave study, a large-scale cohort project that will track the mental health of around 50,000 young people across the UK over a decade, aiming to map mental health trajectories. This data, Gallagher notes, will create a unique mental health map of the adolescent population. It's then possible to highlight the NHS statistics revealing that over 1.1 million children in England were in contact with the NHS mental health services last year, marking a stark increase from previous years. Now, of course, it is something that has been flagged up by the NHS, so someone's got to make allowance for the fact that it's been promoted. But probably 1/5 of 16 to 17-year-old girls are now receiving treatment, reflecting an urgent need for better mental health intervention. Lastly, Gallagher's insight on agency, which is, again, something where there's an overlap between what I identify as the problem with reality TV. Agency is the sense of control over one's actions. One's sense of personal freedom is central. He argues that both anxiety and depression are high when agency is low. And he suggests that enhancing young people's agency should be the key to combating this crisis. Enhancing young people's sense of their own independence and their own ability to achieve things and to experiment and to discover. And this study, by enabling scientists to access the data and creating lesson plans, seeks to bridge the gap between research and policy, a missing piece Gallagher believes is essential to effect lasting change. But we need to talk far more about this concept of agency. When I bring it up, as I did last week with Rylan and the people in the Leeds International Festival of Ideas, there seemed to be some nodding along while I was talking, and the moment I stopped talking, the subject went back to the tropes which are considered acceptable in this debate, in the debate about reality TV, which is that reality TV risks people suffering from an inability to deal with fame or from frustration at a bad edit, which is not the case. That's not the issue. The issue is agency. And this is something that when you're scrolling through social media, you're not in control. What is in control is the algorithm, and that overwhelming sense that you are being controlled, that you are being managed, and that is something that we need to fight against. And the problem is, students particularly teenagers, have always felt a loss of agency because they are managed by their parents or by their teachers. To be managed by the wider society, by everything, is overwhelming. So it's important to try and find some way to manage yourself, and that's where sport, that's where that's where the development of an inner life becomes so important. If the inner life is then in itself managed by social media, then that simply adds to the problems. So it's finding a way to recover the freedom to take control, even in small ways. And I think it's essential to have this debate, and I feel really quite irritated each time I try and have this debate, and it is squashed by circumstance or by an agendum, which is not mine to control. I don't have the agency to deal with this. There we are, you see.